Qualley out, Sennott in. Jason and I pitch a movie to Marlon Wayans, and the connection between Jaws and Grizzly II Revenge. All this and more on today's How Did This Get Made? Last Looks. Hit the theme.
If you made a call so you could chat with Paul to ask him what you really want to know, or maybe just kick back, have some fun and relax, cause you want to hear an entertaining show. Sure, some things they forgot, whether you noticed or not, so now it's time to set the record straight. It's the mini episode, Last Looks, here we go, and start How Did This Get Made?
Hello, Geek Squad, G Squad. I'm Paul Scheer, and welcome to How Did This Get Made? Last Looks, where you, the listener, get to voice your issues on Grizzly II Revenge, a movie that Discord user Sean McBee thinks should have had the tagline, Grizzly II, the movie that saved Karate Kid. Haha, yes, thank you, Sean McBee. You can always submit them right on the Discord. But first, let's give a shout out to Devin Helmer for that amazing theme song. Devin, you killed it. You did. I love that theme. People, you're the best. I got to say, every week I tune in to see what we have. I'm not tuning in. I'm broadcasting out, but I look at all the things that you send in. I'm always impressed. I love the chats in the Discord. I love that you buy tickets to come see us when we're out and about. It means the world to me. And that's as sincere as I'm going to get for the rest of this episode. Let me tell you this. We got a big show. We're going to be talking about Corrections and Omissions to Grizzly II, a movie that we barely talked about in the actual show. You got a lot of opinions about Geek Squad. We'll get into that as well. Plus, Jason stops by for a little Just Chat where we're going to talk about Halloween movies. We're talking about this prank I played on Rob Hubel that went well, and one that I played on Jack McBrayer that went less well. But anyway, hold on to your Buddy the Elf animatronics. And as always, at the end of the show, I will reveal the movie for next week's episode. But guess what? One little piece of bad information. I will not be sharing a deleted scene from our Grizzly II episode because there was no off-topic material, okay? Nothing cut from the show. That was pure Grizzly II info. Tips to tails. By the way, if you're part of the G Squad, the Geek Squad, we have a Geek Squad shirt available now on our merch store. You can just go check it out. You can get it as a sticker, which I have done and now put on a water bottle. Yeah, I'm wearing my own merch, or I guess I'm just repping my own merch, which is okay. My son did go to school in a dark web shirt for pajama day. I didn't have any part in that, but I was proud. People, How Did This Get Made is going to be in New York and Philly on November 7th and 8th. New York is almost sold out, so we just added a brand new date. That's right, on November 6th. Dinosaur Improv is coming to Town Hall. Same location, special guests. We got the best of the best in New York. Edie Patterson, Mary Holland, Danielle Schneider, Rob Hubel, me and Jason. So much good stuff. Every show is completely different. So come see us in Boston, DC, Philly, New York, 2 nights in a row. Just go to hdtgm.com and check us out, or see us here in Los Angeles. At the end of the month, we are doing some live shows at Largo, Dinosaur, and 2 How Did This Get Made, where a good friend, Nick Kroll, is joining us as a very special guest. I also want to say keep the prayers, keep the goodwill, keep the good thoughts going for Avril Halley. If you want to send her any sort of just good wishes, you can do it by snail mail at andrew@moviebitches.xyz or at Avril Halley, P.O. Box 641, Agora Hills, California, 91376. People, you had thoughts, you had questions, and now I try my best to give them answers. And a little section we like to call Corrections and Omissions. Marty Iglesias, hit that theme. All right, lizard breath. Was anyone else bothered by the 2-liter bottle of Slice that Laura Dern had hooked to her backpack? Now, Scott did include a picture of this. This is true. There is a 2-liter bottle of Slice, just connected, like almost like on a hook. Anyway, why wasn't it in a cooler? Warm orange soda doesn't sound refreshing after a long hike. Now, Scott wants to point out it is not a bottle of Slice. It is a bottle of Orange Crush. So, Lizard Breath, you've been debunked. Everything you say now, it doesn't make a difference because you were wrong. Wrong orange soda. By the way, if there's any hot soda to have, orange would be my favorite, I think. How about you? What do you think? Come, find me online. Let's talk about it. Mick G 3D writes, in the beginning stock footage, you can see a guy surfing on a moving motorcycle in one of the overhead shots. I was so confused. Whoa, hold on one second. I didn't even see that. Good thing our eagle-eyed producer Scott saw it, pulled a clip, I watched it, and yes, you are indeed right. There is a man doing a motorcycle stunt. He is standing on a moving motorcycle. This movie is absolutely amazing. It continues to confound me. If you've not read Brian Rafferty's article in The Ringer, you should definitely check it out. I was talking to him this week, and give him those clicks, because he goes way into the deep Grizzly II lore. I don't think he gets to the bottom of the guy doing a motorcycle stunt, but man, stock footage. It happens to the best of us. The Shining and Blade Runner, right? They use the same stock footage. I forgot who did what. Sean McBee writes, not only did we not ever see the bear actually hit the electric fence. Whoa, Sean. Too many knots in that sentence, okay? But the footage of it being fried is literally cropped and saturated footage of the shark dying in Jaws 2. Wait, what? Again, you have to be on the Discord because all of this is in the Discord in its beautiful glory. I can see the scene from Jaws 2 and Grizzly, and yeah, it's the same shot. Whoa, how did they get that footage? Where are they getting all this footage from? I mean, did they steal that just from a Universal movie? Jaws 2 is still a popular, that's like it's a Universal special. That's not like a company going bankrupt. Man, oh man, I love it. Pete the S-Man writes, can we talk about Bouchard saying how he and his family killed 25 bears in one day/night? That's a massacre. First of all, are there even that many bears in one central location? And think of the travesty and all the blood that they left behind, let alone wiping out an entire species in an area. Wow. You guys did the thing that we didn't do this week, which is really talk about the movie. And I got to tell you, that did stick out to me. The next omission is actually from AV Club writer Will Harris. Now, he reached out to me saying that he interviewed John Rhys Davies back in 2012, and he asked him about Grizzly II. Here are a couple of quotes from Will's interview. This is John Rhys Davies talking about his character, Bouchard. I thought it was a rather good performance that I gave. I don't know why I put that accent on it, but I'm going to continue to do that. And this is John commenting on Steve Inwood, who played Chief Park Ranger. John said, poor fellow, he was very handsome, very strong, but he had one or two problems. And I guess coming off the near superstardom of staying alive, it made him perhaps overvalue his contribution a little bit. And the whole thing was a real eye-opener. Sometimes you learn more from the films that aren't terribly successful. And indeed, sometimes you learn more from the real disasters than you do from the ones that succeed. Sliders forever! I just added the sliders forever. Thank you, Will Harris. I love Will. Will is a friend of the pod. Check out his writing wherever you like pop culture, you like film, you like Will Harris. Dig back into his AV Club and also just see what he's up to. He's a good read. All right, let's go to the phones. Josh, what do you got?
Hey, Paul. My name is Josh. I just thought you'd like to know something interesting following Grizzly II. Damon Carvey and David Spade have a podcast called Fly on the Wall, and they just had a brand new episode with Charlie Sheen in which he says that Grizzly II was his first acting paycheck, and he received $6,000, $2,000 a week. So he received 3 weeks of pay and immediately cashed the check, went into a store and bought 2 in his words, fancy camping vests, two in different colors. And he said it was the first time that he actually felt like a big shot. So I thought you might find that interesting for your last Looks episode. I love the show, and please keep going. I listen to your podcast, and then I watch the movies, and it really keeps me going. So thank you so much. Bye.
Josh, you're the best. You're the best. Thank you for your message. First of all, I will admit that when it first started, I was like, yeah, we know, Karate Kid, yeah. But then you pulled in this fact that no one knew about these camping vests that I guess each cost $3,000. I mean, maybe like $2,800 and tax kind of put it over the edge. Wow. Blew my mind. I love that fact. I love the fact that Charlie Sheen remembers that. And I think it's like one of those things that you remember those purchases when you first get money. Like for me, it was a fold-out couch because, I mean, I was living in a studio and I thought that was a real upgrade. I guess I should have moved to a bigger apartment. But I remember spending $1,000 on a fold-out couch. I was like, yeah, this is it. And then I also remember when I got a little bit more money that I bought another couch at Crate & Barrel. Because at that point in my life, couches were the things I was spending the most money on. I was like, whoa, $1,000? Like, how could I ever? I mean, rent, obviously, but wow. I love that fact. Josh, you are great. That Charlie Sheen documentary is fascinating, or as fascinating as it could be when you pay for a documentary to be made about yourself. Here's what I'll say. A lot of talk has been around the monologue that Sam Rockwell gave in White Lotus. I love Sam. Sam is the fucking best. Huge heart, great actor, super funny guy. I thought that Charlie Sheen's monologue about the other side of the menu hit a little harder than Sam Rockwell's monologue in White Lotus. So what I'm really asking for here is, can Sam Rockwell bring that character back to just do the monologue from Charlie Sheen's doc? I would love to see it. Thank you, Josh, for that call. Next up, Kelly, what do you got?
Hey there, this is Kelly. I'm still honestly feeling a little disoriented from Grizzly 2, but I did want to bring up something for Corrections Omissions because it didn't make the pod, and that was the wonderful Louise Fletcher, who y'all correctly identified as Nurse Ratched, and also played the terrifying grandmother in the 1980s adaptation of Flowers in the Attic, very big for people my age, but then had a much larger role as Kai Wynn, one of the major enduring villains of Star Trek Deep Space Nine. Probably hearing from a lot of Trekkies this week. I was sorry we didn't get to see more of her in Grizzly 2, but seeing as how she got more screen time than George Clooney, Laura Linney, and Charlie Sheen, I guess she did well. The crazy thing, though, is that this movie had yet another Deep Space Nine connection. One of the poachers was actually played by Mark Alimo, who played Gul Dukat, arguably the other major villain of Deep Space Nine, who, sorry for the 30-year-old spoiler, actually teams up with Kai Wynn toward the end of the series. So it was truly bonkers to see Louise Fletcher and Mark Alimo in a project together, even though their characters never meet, like 10 years before they were on the same Star Trek. I really wonder if they ever talked about Grizzly 2 on the set of Deep Space Nine, or if it was something they both maybe buried in the past, since it never came out anyway. Anyway, thank you. I love the podcast so much. I'm hoping to see Dinosaur in DC. I'd really like to nominate Julia Garner for Geek Squad. Bye. Thank you.
Kelly. Oh my gosh. First of all, these messages are warming my heart. Kelly, I'm a nerd. I'm a Star Trek nerd. You don't got to tell me. You don't got to tell me twice. But, you probably do need to tell me twice because I didn't recognize Louise Fletcher. I know that name now that I'm looking at it. I mean, Gul Dukat, 100%. Of course I know Gul Dukat. And now you put it all together. So even me, a Deep Space Nine junkie. I love Deep Space Nine, especially the later seasons. So good. Great pull. And I'm going to guarantee 100% yes, these people talked about their experience on Grizzly 2 because it is a bond. When you work with somebody on a movie or a TV show that's so fucked up, it is forever the thing that connects you. I'm sure, I wish they would have hosted a podcast about it. They should have. Get them on a podcast. Let's get them doing a Grizzly 2 recap podcast. Let's make it happen. All right. Coming up, we have a quick break and then more corrections and omissions because they're so damn good. Plus, Jason and I are going to chat about Halloween and we're going to reveal next week's movie. Stick around. Okay, welcome back. Since our last caller, Kelly, talked a little bit about Julia Garner being in Geek Squad. Now, I didn't address that initially because now we're going to get into it, okay? We're not going to talk about Grizzly 2 anymore. We are going to just respond to corrections and omissions solely related to the Geek Squad. And Kelly, your message was awesome. It meant the world to me. But guess what? Julia Garner, not in Geek Squad. No. I don't know why. It's my gut feeling that she should not be in Geek Squad. But maybe I'm wrong. Let's see what other people say. Emily from France?
Hi, Paul and Jason. This is Amélie from France, and I'm calling regarding the last chat you had with Jake Johnson. Just to tell you that in France, the G Squad is actually a boy band. When you guys had Backstreet Boys and NSYNC, we had G Squad, written G-SQAD. You should check it out. They're something. Thanks for all the great content. Love you guys. Bye.
Well, of course, Emily is right. I love an international call. Thank you, Emily, for calling us. And G Squad does look like our Geek Squad. I like it. So I guess, essentially, by laying down the law that there is a G Squad, then we have to call it Geek Squad. No more G Squad. It is Geek Squad. We do not want any confusion with French boy bands. Okay, now we're going to go to the Discord for a second because Bolo Nomadic writes, Nick Holt is like 15 years older than Timothy and Austin. He has been famous for like 25 years. He can't be in the Geek Squad. And Bolo Nomadic, I agree. I don't know why. Maybe I had Superman on the brain. We all know that, as Scott points out, that Nicholas Holt's big break was back in 2002's About a Boy. He played the boy against Hugh Grant. Great movie. Big fan of that writer, Nick Hornby, who has a great Substack as well. But I agree. All right, Holt is out. Garner is out. iCoop says, the only thing that bothers me is that so much of the Geek Squad aren't in movies together the way the Brat or Frat Packs were. We need a modern day Breakfast Club or St. Elmo's Fire. Well, Coop, that is a fair point, and we got a call that suggests maybe there is a movie that contains most of the Geek Squad after all. Drew from Atlanta, what do you got?
Hey, Paul. Just wanted to call about last week's episode where y'all talked about the pitch for Geek Squad. I thought a possible good template for who is in the Geek Squad is the Manson family kids from Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. Those kids all went on to have great success, and you mentioned a lot of them during your show. There was Austin Butler, Mikey Madsen, Maya Hawke, Sydney Sweeney, Margaret Qualley, just to name a few. Or even a couple that you dismissed, like Dakota Fanning, but she doesn't need to be in there. I'm sure she would understand. Love the show and appreciate everything you do to brighten up my week every week. Would love for y'all to come out to Atlanta for a tour. I don't believe y'all have ever been there before, but I would be first in line. Thanks again, and take care.
Okay. Wow. Drew laying it down. Drew, we want to come to Atlanta. We've asked to come to Atlanta. I don't know why we haven't. That's odd. I ask about it all the time. Maybe it's just about where we're going and how long we're on tour for. We will get there. Eventually we'll get there. All right, but let's get into what the main point of this is, Drew. Okay, Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, Austin Butler, Mikey Madison, Maya Hawke, Sydney Sweeney, Margaret Qualley, Dakota Fanning, all in that movie, right? Now, we've already talked about getting some of these people in and out of here, but this is what I'm going to say. Mikey Madison, I've been on the fence. I don't think that she is worthy of Geek Squad yet. Honora, awesome performance. Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, great performance. But I think we need at least 3 or 4 performances to get in that squad. That's what I'm saying. 3 or 4 big performances. Maya Hawke, I think, falls in that same category. All right, Dakota Fanning, I was there. You know, people talked me out of Dakota Fanning. I thought she was a little too old. I don't know. All right, I mean, Mikey Madison has been one that has come up, but but if we're talking about the movie, then I have to put Mikey and Maya in. Again, this is not fully up to me. I have to take it to council. By the way, June has a lot of opinions on Geek Squad. Now, here's the question, though. Is, Once Upon a Time in Hollywood the only kind of Geek Squad movie? Well, guess what? There is another. That's right. There's 2. Just like, that movie, Star Wars. Let's hear from Kate from Mississippi to find out what Kate has to say.
Hey, this is Kate, driving to a concert in Memphis, which I'm late for, but loved every single bit of the Grizzly II episode. But the entire time we were talking about this, I wanted to scream, Sophie Thatcher. Sophie Thatcher is Geek Squad. We also have the other Nepo baby along with Qualley Quaid in there. And then, what's the other guy's name? That's basically the cast of the companion, Lucas Gage, I think. But Sophie Thatcher, 100% Geek Squad. Just want to throw that out there. Thanks, y'all. Great episode. Talk about this shit all the time. Thanks, y'all.
Yes, Kate, the cast of Companion are all Geek Squad. Sophie Thatcher, Jack Quaid, Lucas Gage. I love Jack. Let's put him in Geek Squad. Lucas Gage, interesting. Sophie Thatcher, I like this too. I'm liking what we're pulling together here. Okay, we're building the Geek Squad together. We're going out of the box a little bit. All right, Kate, thank you for that message. Everybody's message. Really, this has been one of the most heartwarming. I'm so into the corrections and omissions. I'm not actually taking in all the emotional feedback I'm getting here. It is making my day. You are all the absolute best. I'm coming at you with a lot of love today, and you are coming at me with love, and that's the way it works. You get back what you give. All right, but here we go. Kate has a hot take.
Hi, Paul. Long-time listener, first-time caller. As a woman who is older than any of this Geek Squad, but definitely still younger than Jason, I loved the last episode, and I have a few observations about people who should be in the Geek Squad. First, Sabrina Carpenter is definitely Geek Squad. She was on the Disney Channel, and she did that Netflix Christmas whatever thing, and so I think she counts. I couldn't believe it took you so long to say Paul Mescal. I was literally strolling through Central Park shouting, Paul Mescal! I'm waving, I'm doing jazz hands. You can't see it. As soon as you started talking about the tiny mustaches. And also, I think Daisy Edgar Jones probably counts. And what's his face from the movie with Jacob Elordi who dated Sabrina Carpenter? Barry, I don't know. I can't remember. Anyway, I loved it. I think you should do more of that nonsense. It was an absolute hoot, and I was laughing the whole time. And so also on a maybe a little bit more serious note, I just wanted to tell you that last year I was struggling really bad with depression on top of my, persistent ADHD. It got so bad, honestly, that I could hardly get out of bed. And one day I went to run an errand and I put on the Little Italy episode of the show, and I ended up walking all day and listening to a bunch of episodes, and just wandering around New York totally mindlessly and aimlessly. And so I kind of was able to get myself to do that for a full week, and it was enough to get me to take a step and go see the right kind of doctor and start to deal with whatever it was that was going on. And I really love the nonsense that you guys are doing. It brings so much joy to my life. Keep doing it, please. That's all. And I hope you have a wonderful weekend and week. Bye.
Sabrina Carpenter, I don't want to put her in Geek Squad. I don't want to put her in Geek Squad because, it just feels like it's off center. It feels like that's why we were talking about Taylor Swift out of Geek. I get it. I get why you want her in there. I don't feel like it works. Barry Keoghan, feel like it works. Now, am I messing up my age thing? I might be. Daisy Edgar Jones. Yeah, you could twist my arm. My castmate from Twisters, you could twist my arm to Daisy Edgar Jones. I think that she could do it. But Sabrina Carpenter, I'm drawing that line because she's a different type of entertainer. And now if she comes back to acting, then it's open. Doors open again. If she pulls like a Smashing Machine, kind of Safdie Brothers team up, I'm going to open up the door to Geek Squad tour. And I got to say, Kate, just when I go out there and I say, oh my gosh, these messages, they've meant the world to me. You come in and you up it even more. I'm so happy to hear that. I'm happy that you are doing great. And thank you for sharing that. And thank you for also sharing 3 solid choices. You're the best. And hopefully we'll have some good live shows coming up that will make for some good walking around New York listening in the future. But that means a lot to me, Jason, and June. But we still have business at hand, okay? Because before we wrap up the Geek Squad, I want to acknowledge that, yes, Jason Mantzoukas, Jake Johnson, and I, we are middle-aged men. We aren't the best arbiters of who is Geek Squad. I mean, that's what people tell us, right? So to provide a more youthful perspective, here is our How Did This Get Made intern, an official Gen Z correspondent, Quinn Jennings. Quinn, take it away.
Hello, this is Quinn, the official Gen Z representative for How Did This Get Made? I heard there were a lot of takes about the Geek Squad, and I have some opinions. I definitely think Timothée Chalamet and Jenna Ortega are in the Geek Squad, no question. I know Jeremy Allen White was kicked out at the end, but I'm going to throw him back in there because even though he's been around for a while, he is currently in conversation with these young actors. He has a Hulu show, he has a biopic, like he's really doing it. I'm gonna boot Austin Butler, Jacob Elordi, Margaret Qualley, and Sydney Sweeney. I really don't think any of them have the edge to be in Geek Squad between some Nepo baby status and some denim commercials. I really don't think any of them, the 4 of them, have charmed me enough to be in Geek Squad. I would add Zendaya, Rachel Sennott, Iowa Debris, Rachel Zegler. I think Barry Keoghan could be like the controversial Geek Squad member. Lucas Gage, I think, is another person that really is just everywhere and would kind of vibe with these people. And I'm going to replace Nicholas Hoult with Harris Dickinson. Nicholas Hoult has been around for a while. Harris Dickinson has been in movies with these people, and people get Nicholas Hoult and Harris Dickinson confused anyway. So as long as you have one of them in there, doesn't really matter which one. I'm going to say Harris Dickinson. So those have been my Geek Squad takes. Bye.
Okay. Quinn's laying it down. Back in Jeremy Allen White and Zendaya. I was always Zendaya on this. Kicking out Austin Butler. Okay, I think we're done with him. Kicking out Jacob Elordi. Interesting. Margaret Qualley, out. Sydney Sweeney, out. New pitches. Rachel Sennott. Ayo. Rachel Ziegler. Barry Keoghan. Lucas Gage. Nick Hoult, out. Harris Dickinson, in. I gotta say, Quinn, you were not coached. You were not told to do anything. But when we went to you and said, you need to help us, I think you laid it down in the best way possible. I am happy with this. With the exception of Jeremy Allen White, who I do feel like is still too old, but you know what? I'm not going to question you because that isn't my job. I'm going to accept the youth culture has spoken. Listen to the microphone she has. She's not calling in on some phone line. Got a microphone hooked up there. Wow, wow, wow. So many great corrections and omissions this week. But you know what? Instead of picking a winner, I'm going to say you're all winners this week. You are all winners. So if you're Kate, if you're the other Kate, if you're Drew, if you're Coop, if you're Bolo Nomadic, if you're Emily, if you're Kelly or you're Josh, guess what? This week you won and you get this theme.
Congratulations, you are the winner. Do you win a t-shirt or a free dinner, some movie tickets, a soundtrack CD. Nope. You just win this stupid song from me.
Thank you, Scarecrow. That was awesome. I love that. Wow. What an episode. This is a big one. All right. Now, if you want to chime in with your own thoughts about the latest episode, hit up our Discord or leave us a message at 619-PAULASK. All right. Coming up after one final break, Jason stops by for Just Chat, and I will announce our next movie. Welcome back. I'm sure you've noticed that every Tuesday we re-release a classic How Did This Get Made episode back into our feed. This week, we have covered the Nick Cage classic, The Wicker Man. Next week, we'll have another horror movie matinee for you all to consume. That's right, because we're doing it spooky this month. So keep on checking out all of our latest replays and classic episodes every Tuesday. And if you're not following us on social media, get on it, because our new social media manager, Zoe, is killing it. Killing it. All right. So see what she's putting up there. She did a great little bit of work for Glitter last week, and that was a little matinee tease. So, Jason, you and I have a date to talk about Halloween in just a second. But before we can chat, we need Chris Finke to play us in with a killer tune.
If your bookshelf's getting dirty, you better dust that. If a barrel's all corroded, it's a real rust vat. Your fedora sitting crooked? Adjust hat. With Paul and Jason on the mic, you know it's just chat. Just chat.
Jason, how are you?
Oh, here we are.
Here we are in October. I didn't tell you this, but we bought a 12-foot skeleton.
Oh, you didn't tell me. I'm thrilled. You know what? And I'm glad you're telling me face to face.
You know, because here's the thing. This is June's idea, not mine. Yes. And here's where it gets even better. This is June's idea that she concocted with our two other neighbors. So we've each bought 12-foot skeletons.
Okay.
So
do they tell a story?
Well, that's what we thought they could do, but they are not as posable as we thought. So now we just have...
Do they move at all or no?
They move a little bit. They move a little... Like, we were trying to do see no evil, speak no evil, hear no evil.
Yeah, smart. I like that.
We're gonna play with it some more, but the rigging of it was a lot hard. I mean, it's
They are 12-foot skeletons.
They are 12-foot skeletons. And oddly, 12 foot seems small when you stand next to it. Like, I guess you don't understand like what 12 foot, like it feels
it's different
bigger
for you because you're 7 feet tall.
Well, I mean, that's always a big problem. You know, I did this thing with Shaquille O'Neal, and I stood next to him, and I was like up to his armpit. It was really, I haven't felt like a child like that.
That would be strange. Well, I feel like our friend Tall John, anytime I'm around Tall John, who I think is 6'7" or 6'9" maybe, I am genuinely like, wow, this is wild. Greg Davis from Taskmaster is like in a different atmosphere.
Oh, really? See, I'd never really, because he's sitting down a lot. I don't think
it's
of him
wild.
as a tall man.
Wild when you get footage of him standing and he then is standing next to someone. You're like, oh, holy cow. He is he's a frost giant.
Well, now, so we are the 12-foot skeleton. I will keep on giving you some updates, but this is where we're at, doing bits. And by the way, we had to get this thing delivered from Home Depot. It came on a truck, and it was big, and it
did
was
they
like,
set it up? Is it that
no,
like no? Okay.
No, it is.
It's not. Is it inflatable? No. This is like so. Okay, so how does it not like top? Like how does it not blow over or topple over?
You are attaching it to a frame that is a big metal frame that needs to be bolted into the ground. Like you are protecting. There's a house down the block from me, and this is where we got the idea originally, was that it's a lone skeleton, and then someone across the street put another one, and we're like, this is funny, like we should have more skeleton representation. And but the person down the block, their skeleton's always falling over, and it looks like a real nightmare.
That seems sad. That seems sad. Has there ever been a movie where people's Halloween lawn decorations come to life and attack?
I mean, it feels like
That
you
feels
just
like
started
a horror
franchise.
movie, right? That feels like a horror movie franchise play, which is all the 12-foot skeletons and the giant Nightmare Before Christmas is what's that guy's name?
Oh yeah, Jack Skellington.
Jack
Yes.
Skellingtons. There's a couple of big giant Jack Skellingtons in my neighborhood. All of them, they just come to life with the souls of the damned, I'm assuming.
I mean, this is a great animated film, and I think if you don't pitch this immediately, you're a fool.
Should we cut this out of the episode?
I mean,
and should I just sell this?
Honestly, you should.
Wait a second.
Oh, wait.
Scott is showing us something that seems like this might exist.
The Curse of Bridge Hollow. It looks like a Marlon Wayans film. It's a Netflix family-friendly horror comedy where Halloween decorations come to life.
Okay, there we go.
All right. Well, Marlon Wayans did it.
They did it. You got me, Marlon Wayans. Great.
I'm gonna go watch that though.
The Curse of Bridge Hollow. I mean, let's see how it is.
Wait a
Maybe,
second.
What?
Wriggle might be in this. Scott, can you continue to see
What?
if Wriggle's in this? Because I believe I've
If
seen
Wriggle is in this, we need to get him on the podcast to talk about it.
Wait, that's his picture right at the top. Right there.
Wow.
He is in it. Because I've seen him wear a shirt that says Bridge Hollow.
We got to get him to come on and talk about it, just if he wants to. Obviously, I'm so curious.
No, I can't wait.
Okay, now here's my pitch. Maybe that's our way in.
Right.
And this is having not seen the movie at all. So maybe Wriggle dies at the end of the movie. Maybe the sequel, that's our in, as we know Wriggle.
The Bridge Hollow universe, we build it out. We build it into a bigger...
The Hollowverse.
Oh, man, I am excited. I'm excited about the process. And and I think, forgive me if we did talk about this on the show, but it's worth repeating that we pranked people last year with a tall Will Ferrell elf, Tall John.
Yes.
Kulop and myself bought these 7 foot tall, or I guess I should say life-size Will Ferrell as Buddy the Elf animatronics, and then left them on people's doorsteps. and one was received
did you do
well.
it to Hubel?
Yes, Hubel was
That's
received
what I feel.
well.
I feel like I remember this. Yeah,
Hubel was great because we put it on his doorstep and he sent us the ring footage, which is up on my Instagram page. I can repost it here on the How Did This Get Made too, where you hear him go, "What the fuck?" as soon as he sees the thing. And
how
then,
did you avoid getting caught in the ring footage?
Okay, well, Jason, now you're gonna get into some details. So Kulop, Tall John, and I bought LED masks that were holiday themed. We put them over so they would have ours had images of snowmen and Santa Claus, and they were playing music. So and then we were wearing
your faces were obscured,
and we were wearing hoodies, Christmas hoodies tied down tight. And what we did was we did some prep work. And we got the buddy all ready. We parked a house away past Hubel's security cameras and then lifted it, ran onto his property, put the thing down, rang the doorbell, and then got out.
I see. Okay.
And then we were so excited to see how it was received that we just hung around for too long until Rob did catch us. Now,
he caught you. I haven't heard this. Oh,
yes.
That's great.
He caught us in the he caught us because he came out. He's like, hey, and then
holy shit,
and then we did it to Jack, and we got a little bit cockier with Jack because we were like, this will be funny, but we really need to. What we didn't do with the buddy at Hubel's
By the way,
house.
Thank you for not doing this to me. I appreciate that.
100%. We understand where we're going with these things. And so we did it with Jack, and the way that we thought would be funny was the Hubel one worked, but what if we could plug it into power? That was the thing that we were missing from the Hubel one. So we bought a very long extension cord, like 100-foot extension cord or something big like that, and we had it all ready. Then we ran up to Jack's house, and then we couldn't find an outlet. And we were up in the bushes. We were in the thing. And in the middle of us doing that, I guess he was alerted by his security cameras.
Oh, my God.
And started texting.
I mean, good that
going,
everybody's things are working.
Yes. And started texting us like, what are you doing?
Oh, my God.
To Tall John, because Tall John is hard.
That's a giveaway.
Yeah. So, and he didn't know what to make of it, but we spent, once we knew he wasn't home, then we were like on his lawn and we positioned lights to like
That's
kind of
so
illuminate
funny.
Buddy and have him stand there.
I think the move would be to just travel, like bring a generator. Just drop a generator and the Buddy and walk away.
You know, and I think you are right about that. And that's probably where we will go. We've been looking at Home Depot already. There's some
just
interesting
picturing
Chewbacca's.
you guys like you guys wheeling a gas-powered generator onto someone's front lawn.
We got to do it for the elf pranks. Now, here's the thing that was interesting. I had seen this elf like maybe at the end of November, and I sent it to Cool Up, and I said, we should put this on someone's lawn. And she's like, Hubel. And I was like, great.
Great.
But it was expensive. It was like $120. And after this happened maybe it happened before Christmas. Yeah, right before Christmas. The prices kept on dropping and dropping and dropping. So we did get this first Buddy for $60. And then the Jack one was way after Christmas, and we found one Home Depot, and it was very far away, like in Carson.
Yeah.
And we had to drive there, and we got that one for $45.
Okay. Oh my God.
So we are collecting.
It would be great, and maybe the Buddy or if you were to, what would be fun is if maybe with the inflatable ones.
Yeah,
you could get an inflatable one. If you could get an inflatable one to be looking in the window of someone's second story.
Oh no,
you know what I mean? If you could,
big
bring
guy.
it up so that when they wake up on the second floor, there is just a big snowman looking in at them.
Now
that would be very funny.
Look, Jason, you've pitched a great animated film. You've now pitched a great continuation.
I'm
of a
just
prank.
looking it up now. Damon Wayans Jr.
Oh,
is in.
get
Has
out
one
of
already.
town! Oh man,
The Wayanses have this space covered.
They are the original Halloween pranksters. I will tell you one thing. Not that this is totally fine for you, but the other night, my kids were like, I want to watch something funny. And they're like, let's watch Airplane. And I said, well, you know what? Maybe we should watch a scary movie because I think it's Halloween time.
Have they seen Airplane?
They have a while ago, but I also know how Airplane works. And it's the same way I feel about Naked Gun. It's a little too old. It's a little too old for them in the sense of they're not getting why it's super funny.
Yes.
Like they'll get the bigger jokes and
sure.
And you know, not that I've shown them Naked Gun, but I'm very careful. And man, oh man, I put on that scary movie, the first one. I was like, that one's a funny one. It's so dirty. We had to turn it off immediately.
Oh,
I mean,
whoa.
Oh, it was so like just Carmen Electra. Like literally,
I'm
just
trying to remember that movie, which I haven't seen probably since it came out.
By the way, I'm not saying it wasn't funny.
Yeah.
It was very funny. It just was like so grossly inappropriate. I was like, whoa! I almost blanched at how much it was. But you know, it did open up with a great joke, which is, you know, she gets the phone call from the guy in the Scream mask and immediately makes a little fart, and he goes, "What's that?" And she's like, "Oh, I just farted."
Classic.
It's
Classic.
It's just a nice thrown away line that is really well
Give me
done.
that all day, every day.
You know, also at Universal Studios, Jason, they have an option this year at their horror mazes as a wet or dry.
Oh no!
Yeah.
Oh God, no!
Wet or dry? What do you prefer?
Or dry? Like what is the like a rub? Like a barbecue rub?
You get to pick how you would like to experience your horror maze.
Oh, the idea, listen to me, the idea of being at Universal Studios for Universal Horror Nights and being wet is pure misery. Pure misery.
Look, I have been there many times, and I will recommend to everybody, you have to go to this one haunted house that's out here in Calabasas. It's amazing. It's the biggest haunted house. Just type in big haunted house LA. But when I've gone to that Universal one, they give you the smells of poop, which is a new invention.
Blah.
So you walk through like these things and you smell and poop, and then they'll do these little things like where it's like a guy like going, my baby, and then he turns the baby to you, and then the baby like pretends to pee on you, but it's like water, so it's so it is like when you are getting wet, it's not just like blood, it's like it's pee.
No.
And then so you really
and what is that? Even though that's not urine, it's just water. But if that doll water gets in my mouth or my eyes, I'm just like the rest of the night. I'm like, oh great, now I have like pink eye, or great, now I've got some other situation brewing.
It doesn't feel healthy. It doesn't feel good.
Well, that's how I feel about what's the technology called? I'm calling it technology called where you in the movie theaters where it sprays you with water or rocks the seat or
the 4DX. They
4DX,
have that. Yeah,
yes.
Yeah, you can turn off the water effects. But
you can? Okay,
yes.
Because one time I did it, it had water on it, and I was like, never again, actually, will I ever do this.
The water effects on that are tricky, because that's
because you're not going to convince me that teenagers aren't pissing in the water canisters.
It doesn't feel to me like that water is filtered in any way. It doesn't feel like look, I can buy that if I'm going on the Jurassic Park ride at Universal Studios and I'm going down that waterfall, the water's being circulated. There's something going on, right? You can't piss in all that. It's not probably the cleanest water.
Sure.
But there's something happening. I don't know what's going on in these movies. I don't know what's going on in these movie theaters.
We got to be careful. We can't just be letting random water into our mouths and eyes.
No, and not in a moment of shock. I mean, I don't want that. Yeah,
exactly. Not in a moment of shock. You're never more open and vulnerable to rogue water droplets.
Well, this is what I was saying. Like when you create the smell of poop, and you are walking through one of these haunted houses, you are like, and then you're prone to have more of your body. Your defenses are down, your mouth is open, and then you get sprayed. And now I took a big.
Well, that's my new show. That's a riff, because that's what Hot Ones is. Hot Ones is like it puts you in a position where you're physically uncomfortable, and so you're more likely to say or reveal more personal things, or be more. Your guard is dropped, and so my version of a similar show is you just go around picking up particularly pungent shits.
Jason, I'm so sorry.
Yeah.
Keenan Ivory Wayans actually has that.
No!
Yeah, that's a show on Quibi.
Oh, it's on Quibi? It's a quick bite?
It's a quick bite.
Quibi's back?
They're bringing back Quibi for that show. It's the only streamer
do you know
with
that
one.
Roku bought Quibi? Roku owns the Quibi library. I have only just recently found this out.
Yes, and you can watch all of the the woman with the golden arm, and there's some there, and they put them together. So there's a flow to them that I think
it's
better.
more cohesive than them digesting them as quick bites.
Quick bites.
Ooh, actually, if that is a segue that I can segue into something I watched.
Yeah, sure, go ahead.
Speaking of things that were shown to us initially as one connected thing, but are actually conceived of as smaller things, which is Criterion. If you have the Criterion app, they have all of the seasons of The Trip.
I love that. Yeah,
Coogan and Bryden, Steve Coogan, Rob Brydon, Michael Winterbottom, the series that are all and they have the movie edits as well. In the States, we got the movie, we got them all edited together. But
that was a TV show?
They were conceived of as each of them is a 6-episode season of television.
Wow. Okay. So,
and the shows are incredibly satisfying just because they really dig in on more of the difficulties and the embarrassing fights that they're getting. It just goes deeper emotionally.
I can't wait. I just watched Criterion. I forget how good Criterion is, and it's often one that I don't just turn on. Last night I watched was it The Long Kiss Goodnight? The Elliot Gould.
Oh, Long Goodbye.
Long Goodbye. Oh my gosh.
Incredible.
And I just put that on to fold some laundry, and I was like,
so funny. So you and I similarly, so they have just put up all the Robert Altman movies.
Yes.
So, and I watched half of Pret-a-Porter last night.
Okay. And I've
which
been
is
on
one that I haven't watched since it came out.
Well, they also have a 70s thriller thing that was I think that was last month, which has been the Parallax View and stuff like that. And
Chinatown.
And I found my way to that because I was watching after Robert Redford died last month. I was watching Sneakers, and I was like, and it reminded it's I like that.
There's a great Action Boys episode about Sneakers actually from just a few months ago.
Ooh, I got to go listen to that. That would be great.
Action Boys have been on fire lately. Fantastic episodes. Can't recommend enough.
Didn't they do the Chuck Norris talk show? Was that just a live?
That was a live thing. Yes,
I love that.
Their live shows, which are available to stream on their Patreon, are incredibly funny.
I gotta go watch that tonight. Jason, I know we have to keep this one short, so we will be back again. We'll recommend more things and keep you up to date on our pranks and other details like that.
All right.
Thank you, Jason. Now it is finally time to announce our next movie. We are going to go from Bear Stories to Jason Voorhees. I said it fast, so it seemed like it rhymed. That's right, we'll be venturing back into the Friday the 13th franchise for a third time to cover 1989's Friday the 13th Part 8, Jason Takes Manhattan. Here's the deal, people. Get ready for June, Jason and I to be confused about the lore of the Jason films. Sorry, but this is your fair warning to just prep for that. Emotionally prep for that, for us to be confused. Anyway, IMDb breaks in the plot by saying Jason Voorhees is accidentally awakened from his watery grave and ends up stalking a ship full of graduating high school students headed to Manhattan. Oh boy. Jason Takes Manhattan. More like Jason Travels to Manhattan. Anyway, Rotten Tomatoes gives this film 11%, and Richard Harrington from the Washington Post wrote, Jason has been raised once more from the bottom of the lake, probably around the same time this script was scraped from the bottom of the barrel. Ooh, yeah. Way to go, Richard Harrington. I like that. I mean, I'm making fun of it, but I'm not really. It was a good one. Here we go, people. You want to know what Jason Takes Manhattan's about? Well, get ready, because here is a trailer.
The city. Give me a mic. That has seen it all. Ain't seen nothing yet. Now, Jason's gone uptown.
There is a maniac trying to kill us. Welcome to New York.
Friday the 13th, Part 8, Jason Takes Manhattan. Rated R. Starts Friday, July 28th at theaters everywhere.
You can stream Friday the 13th, Part 8, Jason Takes Manhattan on Paramount Plus, Pluto TV, and the AMC app, or you can rent it on Apple TV and Prime Video. After you watch Jason Takes Manhattan, if you're looking for a place to watch more movies for free, I encourage you to check out Canopy, Hoopla, and Libby, which are digital media services offered by your local library. That's right, you can get everything at your local public library: TV shows, music, audiobooks, ebooks, and comics for free. You just gotta sign up. All right, that's it for Last Looks, and if you listen to us on Apple Podcasts or Spotify, please rate and review us. Let them know we're out there. Tell all your friends. Come out to see our live shows and follow us on social media at HDTGM. A big thank you to our producer, Scott Sani, Molly Reynolds, our movie-picking producer, Avril Halley, and our engineer, Casey Holford, as well as our Gen Z intern, Quinn Jennings. We'll see you next week for Friday the 13th, Part 8, Jason Takes Manhattan.
Unplanned pregnancy is one of life's unexpected twists, and in this age of restrictions and confusing online information, it can be difficult to know where to turn. PlanCpills.org shares up-to-date information on options for abortion pills and virtual support in all states, with a focus on how people are getting pills by mail. The site also shares information on how people are getting pills delivered in advance to store at home in case of future need. Visit PlanCpills.org. That's PlanCpills.org to learn more. This message is offered as a public service of How Did This Get Made and Plan C, a 10-year-old nonprofit initiative.